Good morning, Vlogmas Day 8, and it is 17 days until Christmas, according to the plaid nutcracker in the corner. So I thought it was a good day for some Tim Hortons, and this is the first time in months I've had Tim Hortons, and they've got their wintry cup here with this really cute raccoon in a scarf, providing gifts. And I do have to say, I hate the fact that their lids are white. I miss sort of the classic black Tim Hortons lids where you didn't see every slop of coffee. So I've got my coffee there, and I've got a box of Timbits, and I wanted to try one of these everything bagel twists, and then I just have a hash brown in there for a nice, not so healthy breakfast, but the treat that I feel like I need on this Friday. There's my Timbits. Let's see, there's some of the ones with sprinkles. I'm not sure what those are, whether those are birthday cake or something new. Some old-fashioned with sugar, chocolate, and those might be honey dip ones, old-fashioned plain. I don't actually know what all their current flavors are these days. I do have to say I miss the jelly-filled ones with the white powder. Those were some of my favorites. But I think they're all good. And I'm just going to eat a couple of these. I don't need an entire 10-pack of Timbits for my breakfast. And I've never had one of their twists before, but it looks good. And it said everything, so I'm assuming it's the everything bagel flavoring and seasoning, and I don't know. We'll see what it's like. So it's kind of flaky and airy in there. It's almost what you would expect from like an apple twist pastry or like an apple Danish or something, but it's really, really good. You know, almost every road trip as a kid involved Timbits. You know, you'd stop midway through the trip. Somebody would go in and come out with a 10 or a 20 box of Timbits, depending on how many kids you had in the car. And then the box would get passed back and forth from row to row in the minivan. And everyone would take one at a time. And then the box would come back around and you'd get your next Timbit. And so on and so forth, passing the box until everybody had had approximately an equal amount and all the Timbits were gone. The new stamps that I ordered came in the mail today. These are permanent stamps for the Summit series. I don't use a lot of stamps. When I do, I like to get something kind of special and fun. The 1972 Summit series, which was a series of hockey games between Canada and the Soviet Union. And as you can see, there's just, let's see, I think 10 stamps. Yeah, there's 10 stamps in this little booklet. And to be honest, these stamps is probably going to last me an entire year, because I only really mail birthday cards, and my Christmas cards are already out for this year. So on the back here it says, "Where were you on Thursday, September 28th, 1972? Not born yet, and my parents were tiny little children." If you were one of millions of Canadians, you were glued to a television or radio, raising your voice in a collective cheer that could be heard around the country when Team Canada defeated the Soviet Union's national hockey team in Game 8 of the Summit Series. 50 years later, fans still remember that tense but proud moment in the final game of the series when the tie-breaking goal slid into the net with only 34 seconds left on the clock. And of course, I learned all about that Summit series in high school grade 10 history. And I've seen the clips of the game many, many times. So a few fun things as I'm completing my workday here. I'm about to go and get passport photos taken because I've got to submit the forms to renew my passport, which is expiring in a few months. And it's a 10-year passport, so the last time I would have had this done was 10 years ago at 19 years old. And let me tell you, when I was 19, my mom filled out the paperwork and told me where to sign and took care of all that for me. So this is my first time doing that paperwork myself. Glad to see the renewal form is simple. I just got to get some photos to send off with it and fill out just 2 pages, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to get that in order. And in fun news, I won the silent auction at work for the charity campaign, and I won the mocktail drink kit. So I'll be submitting the payment for that, and I should be able to pick it up in person sometime next week. And when I get that, I'll show that in a Vlogmas. I'm not quite sure what's in it, but it looks like a fun little kit, and in the name of charity, why not? I put in a bid. So yes, mocktail, silent auction, passport. I've got to run to the post office for a couple of things, and then I've got a friend coming over, and I'm not sure what I'm making for dinner yet, so I got to figure that out. And the weather here is still quite cold. As you can see here, the snow isn't as fresh as it was looking a few days ago. The temperature has risen a bit since yesterday, and we could have a little bit of rain in the next couple of days if the temperature gets as high as it says it's going to. But overall, it's not a bad day for a walk. Things just aren't looking too pleasant on the ground, and as you get in a city, the snow gets pretty dirty pretty quickly. But it was a nice day. And here again is a shot of my Advent wreath. After I ran my errands, my friend came over and we had our dinner, and then we watched Christmas at Graceland, that Christmas special. And I think that's all for today's Vlogmas.